Hi guys, M.V.K here, coming to you again. How's everybody doing out there? Welcome once more to, welcome back to the Speed Force. One last ride through the Speed Force until next season. I'm here to give my thoughts, recap on the very emotional episode of Flash entitled Fast Enough. Guys, I'm gonna be straight, very much honest. If I begin to cry or shed tears, please do not disregard that as a means of trying to wean anybody. It's just, this episode was really emotional for me on a whole different level because of, I can understand where Barry, the main character, was coming from with this. As most of you guys know, especially for my veteran subscribers, I lost my mother too when I was 13. So I can understand what that feeling of being able to see her for one last time, or being able to, just speak with her. I can understand that. And this episode was very emotional for me. I broke down perhaps through the whole episode pretty much. There were times where I just could clearly see myself just tearing up and just like, I'm not going to cry, and couldn't stop. But the basis of this episode is there is some consequences. It's consequences. Like, though there are some things you want to change in your life, we all probably want to change things in our lives, but unfortunately, there could be some ramifications of that. And that's pretty much what this episode was mainly about, mainly revolved around as a whole, is if Barry does this, things are going to change when he comes back to the present. Things that could change his relationship with the rest of the supporting cast. And that was the thing that kept going through his head over and over. People were saying, he's asking people, should I do it? Should I do it? Should I be allowed to do this? What happens if this happens? Does he stay with Joe? Will he ever meet Caitlin and Cisco? A lot of things are revolving around this. This was heavy on the drama, guys. Very much. And to me, I felt like this episode was really needed for that. How would you feel if you could go back in time to save your mother? To right a wrong that shouldn't have happened. So that was pretty much the basis of this episode. We saw a lot of that throughout the whole entire episode. Some of the things that I didn't enjoy, which I'll get to later. I'll get to in a minute. But the main gist of it also was the fact, like I said, the gist of what revolves around the consequences of changing something that in the past or so. Playing with, time, space-time continuum, all that. I've watched too many time-traveling movies and TV shows that showcase there's always going to be some consequences. And with the Flash, we know time travel is a big part of his world. And we get to see that. But it doesn't make it any harder for Barry to struggle with this. And you see him struggle with this throughout, he thinks about it throughout the whole episode. While he has his friends to help help him figure this out. Even Wells or Thawne even shows him what to do. And they're very iffy about it, but they know that maybe he can trust, because what does Thawne want? He just wants to go back home. And pretty much we get a little tidbits, little teasers of two main characters in the show, and I'm going to talk about that in a little minute. But we also get a little segue of Eddie realizing that, you know what? Screw what supposedly the future holds for me. I'm going to take the chance. And he kind of reconciles with Iris for as much as he can. But it was very emotional, guys, and let me tell you why. So this is probably the first episode Barry goes the fastest he's ever gone in the entire season. He hits Mach 2. You know how fast Mach 2 is? That's very fast. And he's able to hit it using the particle accelerator, and connecting with that, he's able to break through the time barrier. And he's actually in the Speed Force. We actually hear Wells say he's in the Speed Force. Now, this is where I'm going to start. I'm hoping you guys were seeing these Easter eggs. Okay? So, pay attention. I hope you guys are looking at this. While Barry is going back in time through the Speed Force, he is seeing possible futures. And the biggest one that I saw real quick, was we actually got to see Caitlin as Killer Frost, how she is going to look as Killer Frost. And you got to look really quickly, because it's on Barry's, I believe, his left-hand side. You see a woman, she's got glowing white eyes, glowing like bluish white eyes, white hair, and her hands are kind of like frozen. And it was just like, ooh, I was like, whoa. So you got to look really carefully. You see her in the corner, but she's there. But Thawne is telling Barry, you got to focus on that night. Barry does get to that night, and everything goes down as it's supposed to. Very, very emotional. It was even so emotional that even his future self saw him, and almost like telling him, almost like saying, halt, no, don't do this. Or just saying, not yet. Barry goes in, sees his mother. And this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right now, is where I clearly broke down the most. If you were sitting next to me watching that scene, you would understand. You would literally probably put your hand around me and like, it's okay, kids. Don't cry. It's all right. Because I boo-hooed like I was like a baby. The moment Barry is with his mother, and she doesn't really understand. What is she worried about the most? She's worried about her. Excuse me. She's worried about her son and her husband more than she's worried about her life. Barry tells her, I'm the Flash. She doesn't really understand. He removes his mask, and he says to her, I'm Barry. And she literally knows that's her son. She doesn't even contemplate that this is impossible. My Barry's only this age. No, she looks right at him. She just says, my beautiful boy. I put myself in Barry's shoes. And that's what really broke me down the most. Is I put myself in his position, and me seeing my mother and just saying no. So that really broke me down. But the question is, does he save her? He doesn't. He doesn't. And when Wells and Thawne and everybody are helping him about to go back to his time, Barry comes back. Before Barry comes back through, we see another big Easter egg. We see a certain Hermes helmet come through the portal. tidbits, Jay Garritt. For all those who know the original Flash, the Golden Age Flash, Jay Garritt's helmet comes through. And just when Thawne is about to head through, here comes Barry back through and destroys his time machine. And there's a little bit of a battle between them. And it's still, Barry is still, Thawne still has the upper hand. And when he's about to somehow deliver this certain blow to Barry, tragedy strikes with a death. Now, that death, I'm still not going to spoil, even though you've probably seen it. Still going to play it off as if nobody's ever seen it. Sorry, guys. Played it off of, bam, results in the death of Thawne. And it gets worse from there because the episode ends with a major cliffhanger. So it makes you even more can't wait to second season. But we also got to see little tidbits of characters that are going to be in the Heroes of Tomorrow. 2 of them. Well, yeah, we've seen one, but one that we've just seen just now. I'm not going to spoil when that is. But, man, this was a very emotional episode for me, guys. I very much enjoyed the season overall. There was a lot of things that I enjoyed. I want to applaud the people behind this, the way they built up certain characters. Hopefully they will work on the villain of the month theme that I'm a little tired of. Stick with a major villain and go from there. Who will be the major villain? Will we see a certain character that died come back? We don't know. We'll start to see, the destiny with Iris and Barry. They have opened up that they're going to start tapping into the multiverse in second season, which in terms means Earth 2 and things like that. So this is how I'm believing they're going to either bring in Wally West somehow. That's how I think they're going to do it. But other than that, I don't really have no complaints about this episode. The emotional vibe is there because there are big things coming for Caitlin and Cisco. It's already been said. So yeah, we could see both of these characters become the characters they're destined to become. And it was also teased by Thawne as well when he was talking to Cisco about why he still remembers his supposed death. However, having said that, now the bad news is now we gotta wait till next fall. The good news is that we're getting another season. And hopefully they're going to continue the strive of where they went with the first season. Hopefully things are going to get more intense, good storytelling. The drama needs to be there as well, not just the action. Hoping to see more of Barry's other classic rogue characters, because we haven't seen Mirror Master yet. I'm hoping we see Mirror Master. Would I mind seeing Captain Boomerang? Maybe not. But yeah. And will we see, instead of the Reverse Flash, could we see Professor Zoom as well? There's just a lot of things that need to be going by on this. But I very much enjoyed this episode, guys. I really did. It was very emotional for me, and I apologize if I started to cry, guys. It was just that's a touching scene. And I'm probably gonna watch this episode again. But stay tuned, guys, because probably gonna get the team together, as many as I can. My pack, well, one of my pack, the core, and we're gonna talk about this. We talked about we came back. Some members of the core came back, and we talked about Age of Ultron, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna get together and show some love for Flash as well. But I very much enjoyed it, guys. I really have no complaints. Such a good season. So to all the people that worked on this series, applaud yourselves because you did such a good job. You put the oomph back in action series, 1 hour action series. You really did. It's been a good run for you guys, a good ride, and we're only on the first season. It feels like this should be like the second season, kind of in a sense, but it's still the first season. But it was great. But I'm gonna have to step out of the Speed Force this time, or maybe and see where it goes from there, and just wait. But now the waiting begins. But this was good, very good indeed. So that being said, guys, what was your opinion on the episode? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Be honest with yourselves, guys. Just be honest. I like input. Keep it real, 100%, like I do. But I was very, very in tune. I had more of an emotional vibe. That's probably why this episode was so good to me, because of the connection that I had with the main character in this situation. Because, like I said, I'd do anything to see my mother again. Just one more time. And so it was good. But other than that, this is M.V.K saying peace and love. Stay tuned. Keep it real, guys. We'll just have to wait till next year. I'll be back with some more Flash recap, reviews, thoughts, whatever, next year. But other than that, ta-ta for now. And